Hello, hello, hello. We are gonna go for a quick run in this cool little E46 Coupe. It's a 2001 325i Coupe. And yeah, gonna go take some pictures, make it look pretty, and don't need the air conditioning on. But yeah, just go for a quick run it up the freeway entrance right here, and then we'll talk about it real quick while I'm driving it, and then we'll run it down a couple of twisties so you can kind of get a sense, get a feel for this car, and we'll do just that. So let's get on the freeway here, and we'll go from there. Traffic today, but as far as getting a sense of the car, it is a healthy car. 151,800 in change, and for a 151,000 mile car, you can tell it was one that was looked after a little bit. You know, it's not completely perfect. Couple of little things here and there, some typical stuff. We'll do the walk around tour, you'll get a sense on that kind of stuff. But as far as running and driving, you know, it tracks pretty straight, it stops well, suspension feels pretty tight. You know, there's a little bit of wear, it doesn't feel, you know, brand factory fresh, but it feels very good for something with 151,000 miles on it. It feels pretty tight, pretty solid. A little bit of wind noise, I don't know, you know, I'm going within the neighborhood of the speed limit, and a little bit of wind noise, but all the windows, they do go up and down just as they should. These ones are up all the way. You know, a couple of minor rattles coming from behind me, some of the trim back there, I'm not sure, but yeah, all told, it's a good one. And we've got a guy dancing around in the shoulder up here. Not really sure what he's up to. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. Hello, friend. But yeah, it's a good one. It's an honest, well looked after 151,000 mile car. For what it is and what it does, it's a good one. Not the most powerful thing in the world. It's 180-ish horsepower, and it feels like it's got all of them. Motor's smooth. Got a tire noise. The tires aren't that old, and the tread seems pretty good on them. Maybe it's just a tread pattern, but you do hear a little bit of noise from the rubber, the road. But there's some twisty road action over here. Kind of run it through there. It does feel nice. We'll start in first gear here, actually, because we have an opportunity to. Brakes feel good. Rotors feel flat and even. suspension feels good. It's not communicating anything poorly when I'm driving it. It doesn't feel like there's a blown strut somewhere or a super worn out tie rod or anything like that. It doesn't have any weird wiggles, even kind of pushing it a little bit. Traction control does work again, which is a good thing. And yeah, this is a fun little car. I think for whatever money it's going to go for, which is, let's face it, it's not going to go for 5 figures. It's not one of those cars. It's going to be a good little fun driver for somebody. It's a unique color. It's got the sport package, which is really just wheels and seats on these cars, but it has it. It's got the right transmission. The 5-speed shifts well. The clutch feels good. It doesn't slip at all. Yeah, it's fun. It's going to be a good buy for somebody if they just want to kind of have something fun to drive, not spend a lot of money. It looks good. It drives good. I think this is going to be a good bargain pickup for somebody. And per usual, with my charity client, the money's, at the sale is going to go for charity, and it's a good one all the way around. It's a good car, handles well, drives well, looks the part, has plenty of, relatively minor blemishes and things to keep the price low on it. It's not a 330, it's not a ZHP car, it certainly isn't an M3. But these cars tend to be in the world of 20-year-old BMWs, or more realistically, 10 and 15-year-old BMWs I'm more afraid of. But in the world of 20-year-old used BMWs, it's going to be a lot of bang for the buck, and I think someone's going to be happy with it. It's not going to go for a ton of money, and but it's still going to be a lot of fun. They're pretty reliable for what they are. They're pretty fun. Pretty easy to work on, all things considered. So yeah, we'll get it up here, we'll get some more photos of it, we'll do a walk around video of it, but that is the driving portion of today's video. So yeah, I think somebody's going to be happy with this thing. All right, to the photo spot. All right, got some photos done of the light yellow metallic, they called it. Maybe it's more of a pimp gold, I'm not certain. But the light gold metallic 325i Coupe. With that over there, the manual. So it's a pretty solid car, especially when you're looking at 151,000 miles. There's some wear and tear to the interior, nothing crazy, little elbow wear mark here, a little bit of the same here on the leather, a couple little nicks down here, really small potato stuff. There's certainly some wear on this seat. No real tears, but you can see it's definitely got some creasing, some wear. No split seams down here quite yet. See some wear here. Beginning of a split seam here. But it's holding up. Sweet dealer installed BMW rubber mats. Carpet underneath, pretty darn good. Mats have done their job. The rears have mats, but they're not installed right now. You can see the carpet's nice, but they're in the trunk. They're floating around back there. one thing that's the most annoying in this interior, and almost every single E46 left on the planet, are the pillars, which is super common on these. The fabric kind of, the glue fails and it comes off the backing here. Totally something you can take care of. It's not beyond repair. The spray glue technique, from my understand, kind of doesn't work all that great. It kind of looks like crap if that's going to be your fix. The other fix is you can peel it all off. You get this kind of yellow backing board, so it's not going to match perfectly, but at least it's not going to be flopping around. You could also just reupholster them, which isn't too terribly expensive. If you use a different fabric than what's left, then you're not in that bad a shape. You can probably do it pretty cheaply yourself. The rears are the worst. The C-pillars there. It's probably where they got the most sun, I'm thinking. That one's really bad. But I'm gonna leave the solution up to the next owner. Because last thing I would want to do is go through all the motion of tearing them off if somebody wants to leave it, or try and reupholster it if somebody chooses they want it to look different. You know, you can customize it if that's your thing. Or if you want, you can order all new ones. I know there's some places online, I think it was like 500 bucks. Somewhere in there, you can order the whole set. Just get it all replaced. Stereo works.
I think if you start finding guys,
I have found the knob is a little
natural shooting motions that are
sometimes works great, sometimes you gotta play with it. Right now it's working pretty good.
So it's hard to catch that stuff live.
But sometimes you gotta, you know,
on replay.
Goes up fine.
And if you
kind of fight it a little bit sometimes to get it down. Like right now, see?
For foul seeking.
There it goes. So, of note, not that big a deal. AC blows cold. I have noticed the compressor sounds a little whiny, a little bit. I'm revving it now. You can maybe hear it. It's pretty minor stuff. And I'll turn it off. And it's slightly quieter. Again, I'm trying to be overly picky here, but, you know, of note, heated seats work. Shifter shifts. Windows auto up and down. Sweet. Let's check out the back real quick. I'll pop the hood so we can look under there. Pretty nice. Not a whole lot going on back here. Got the little ashtray. The seams are splitting a little bit right here. Just got a lot of sun. You can see the package tray is a little faded. It's not quite as gold as, or tan or ivory or whatever they call this for the rest of the interior. Sand, I think they call it, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Also, no sunroof, which I like on something older because it's one less thing I need to worry about breaking or leaking or eating up a little bit of headspace. Go to the other side real quick. Imagine this trim panel doesn't show quite as much wear. A little bit more down here than on the driver's side, but per usual, less wear and tear on the touch points. Same on the leather here, a little bit less wear. Still doing the same over here with the splitting seam. Super common on these. A little bit of wear here from the seat going back and forth. Seatbelt rubbing the console. Very, very common on these. It'd be weird, almost very weird to find one that had 151,000 miles that doesn't have that sort of thing. Comes with the territory. One really cool thing. The original Windows sticker. Light yellow metallic is what they're calling the paint. Sand leather, sport package with the 17x8 alloy wheels. Performance tires, adjustable sport seats. Heated seats, power seats. They charge you $200 for the AM/FM CD player. I don't know what happens if you don't order that. Like, do you get no CD player? That would be weird. In a 3 Series, $34,000 plus local tax. So this is pretty cool. Came out of Mountain View. I do believe this is a one-owner car. I probably consult the Fox and see what he has to say on the matter. Is it a he? Is it a she? Do we know? I don't know. But we'll ask the Fox. Same story over here with the all-weather mats. Fabulous carpet underneath. All the power adjustments work. Seat folds forward and then up. So you can help with the ingress, egress. And then in reverse. Let's look under the hood. We'll go over some of the defects in the paint, which there are some. And some color. Not a whole lot to report under here. All stock, all intact. I know the cooling system on these is kind of notorious. This one seems to be in good shape. Motor sounds quiet and tight. Normally we'll go in the trunk, but it's pretty boring on this one. There's not a whole lot to report back. I'd rather spend more time looking around here because there are massive imperfections here in the paint. We've got the front bumper, probably the worst, where the clear coat is really letting go on the top of the cover. From 10 feet, 15 feet, you'd never notice it, but you get up close, you can really see it. There's some spots here where the dirt has gotten under this clear that's flaking. Now it's all repairable, there's no real damage to the cover itself. Sand it, paint it, do all that. Fog lights are fogging. I did see here there's some damage on the underside of the cover. Some driveways, parking blocks. Super common, I'm sure you can imagine. Definitely is there, however. And really, most of the plastics are doing this, where you've got the clear failing and they're fading a little bit more. You can see here on the top of the impact molding here, the clear coat's starting to go. And that's kind of common, at least out here in the sunny states. The way it ages on the plastics is definitely different than it does on the metal. Really not a whole lot to report as far as clear coat failure and stuff on any of the metal pieces. However, on the plastics, it's definitely more significant fading. Again, unless you're right on top of it, you're not really noticing it. Still a super presentable car. Back bumper actually looks really good. Maybe they had it backed up in their carport or something. Because the back here, this guy here looks pretty good too. kind of a matter on these, especially with these gold colors. Gold is a very, very weak color when it comes to holding up against the sun. These impact strips are pretty good, but the one on the fender here, it's definitely got the clears bubbling up. Same with on the top of the mirror cap here. But on all the metal, it's fared a lot better. You can see here on this plastic drip rail strip, clear is not as happy. But straight reds and these golds are super, super susceptible to fade. And if you really are sharp and pay attention, and you look at the overall finish on this car, again, still super presentable, still looks pretty darn good. But if you're really perceptive and you look at the tops and the shading as compared to the bottom, where it's been out of the sun for the last 20 years, it's a little richer and darker versus lighter up top. Hello. Oh, that's really kind of the number one thing on this, is the paint's not perfect. But in its not perfectness, it is actually still very presentable. And then you'll probably get it for, you know, not a huge premium. It's probably going to be a very reasonably priced car at the very end of the auction here. Still drives really well, still really tight. Miles are not out of control, especially for a 2001. And yeah, it's going to be a good little car. I think we're officially at the bottom of the market in my mind on these E46s. And so, get it for a song. One other thing, a super comment on these I wanted to point out, I almost forgot. The rubber here at the back, the bottom of the quarter glass on these trim pieces, I believe they're integral to the trim piece, not the quarter glass, because the quarter glass moves in and out. But the rubber on this roof rail trim here, and then down here on this belt molding trim, really rough shape, also sunburned. It should be addressed, or you don't have to. It's more decorative. This side must have seen less sun. It's not quite as severe, but it's still not in the best of shape. And I believe the fix is you order this, you order these trims. I don't know if this is available from BMW anymore. If it is, it's probably not inexpensive. I'm willing to bet it still is. And I think you can get them in this. This was the standard trim. I know they had the shadow line trim, which is where this is kind of blacked out. A couple of different options. Anyways, that's pretty much it. So that's it. If you want to place a bid often, bid early. If you're catching this the day this video is going live, it's also the same day that the auction for this car on Cars and Bids is going live. So yeah, go ahead, check it out there when you're done checking it out here. And if you want to buy it, place a bid. If you missed it, then do the whole eBay, why did I say eBay? The whole YouTube notification, subscription, all that stuff. And that way you'll get a little alert when a video goes live. And then you can see, is it available? Is it for sale? Where can I buy it? Yeah. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. And yeah, until next time.